Welcome. It's Mystics spilling the tea.
I'm Ashwani, Southern Fried Psychics.
I'm Nickelle with Rising Digital.
And I'm Leslie Hall, the Purple Rose Psychic. Today we're discussing how we actually kind of started on our journey to being
Mystics, psychics, intuitives.
Intuitives, whatever you want to call it. So how did you get started, Ashwani?
Mine was Dr. Chuck Murphy, who's now deceased. He was the best mentor. I was in my, I think, mid-20s when I found him when I was searching. And back then it was those, I don't know what you call them, like a mail board or something. It's like you could look something up like at local metaphysical stores or something, maybe
wow.
like a posting or something.
Yeah.
And I saw this thing posted. It was psychic development because he hadn't named it Zero to Psychic yet. And I was like, oh, that sounds cool. Because I knew I was different. I knew I had some sort of abilities. I just didn't know what to call it, name it, all that good stuff. So anyway, fast forward, found him, took that in 2004. And then I just kept building because I'm like a sponge. I want to learn more and more and more and more. But I was the dead kid, like, not the dead kid, but
I was like,
no one dead.
holy.
I saw dead people. So I was a little Haley Joel Osment from
Yes.
Sixth Sense. I've always seen dead people since I could probably point. So I was just different.
And
it
you
helped
see
me
them
put it
as like
together.
clear as us right now.
Well, now it's different because when I was about 9, growing up in Southern Baptist Church, I was taught that that was evil or the devil or that's you're weird, you're a freak, all those things, you know. People were talking.
Unholy.
Exactly.
Mm-mm.
And so I suppressed a lot of it. It just really scared me because I was taught it was a bad thing.
Mhm.
And so it went from I'm seeing Leslie to now it's more like a moving Harry Potter portrait. So they'll show me sometimes in color, sometimes black and white, but it's almost always moving.
Wow. What about you?
So with me, it started a long time ago. I would have the deja vus where I'd walk into a room and know exactly what someone was about to say and exactly, and I would even almost sometimes answer before they ask the question. They're like, "What are you answering?" I'm like, "Oh, okay. Oh, okay, I'll wait. I'll wait for you to
Hurry up.
ask." Yeah, but then as I grew older, I would have feelings and seeing things and knowing things, and so I would share that with family and friends as I was going. I wasn't going to go on this journey. I've told y'all this. I wasn't going to go on this journey of being a professional psychic and medium. But, when you're called and they keep nudging you, you have to answer because they don't stop. Those people don't stop at all. And so the very first thing I did was I actually went to a metaphysical store as well and looked up a class. And so I jumped into a class on it was meeting one of my spirit guides, and it happened to be my manifestation guide. And it was that easy to just jump in. The funniest thing is when I went on that first meditation and, you come out and you're discussing what happened, the instructor looked at me because I said, "And that's it." And she was like, "And you act like that's normal." I'm like, "Well, how do I know it's not my cold medicine?" That's
Right.
part of it because part of the hardest part of really discerning that it's not your mind going crazy on you.
Right.
Is that's the hardest part is was that me? Was that someone else? Because in your head when they're talking to you, it is the same voice.
It's your voice.
It's your voice.
Right.
And so it's like, was that me? Was that it's that, is it live or is it Memorex? What's going on here?
Yeah.
And so she told me to ask for signs. And so I asked my manifestation guide to give me a sign. This is how spirit works. And I mean, if you think about how spirit directs you and guides you, because your guides and your angels are all working for your better good.
Yep.
And when you find these, coincidences and things that happen, it's like, oh, that was really interesting how that all happened. So it was interesting that the very first guide that I went on a meditated journey to start this whole professional journey was my manifestation guide, because she said, ask them to show you something. I said a purple rose. I have no idea why that flew out of my mouth. Clearly, they wanted it to fly out of my mouth, but and I was like, "Oh, that's stupid." And she said, "No, because a rose is very common and purple isn't. So when you start seeing purple roses, you will know for sure that that's them." And so I was like, "Oh, okay." So I left that night thinking nothing of it, obviously, and started seeing purple roses immediately. They're on TV. They're everywhere. Purple rose is not that uncommon, I have to tell you. If you start looking, and I don't know if it's that you just start picking it up or what, but now you see purple roses. I see purple roses everywhere, everywhere.
And I tell you how I knew I was supposed to partner with her is she had come to my shamanic journey circle, and my guides kept doing this. Ask her, ask her, ask her. And I'm like, okay, crap. So the next day I'd send her a message. Well, purple rose is my favorite flower. Her phone number is my birthday. And they show me my birthday every day on a receipt, on license plates, you name it, every day.
Oh.
And I knew there was a symbiotic partnership with all things mystic.
That's awesome.
That's how, like, it's the things that they do, the coincidences, they're not coincidences. And that's the reason why you start, like, really, start listening to them. And that's when there's an awakening in you. And that's really, all along I had gifts. And all along I was using them for friends and family, but it wasn't like I was really, truly using them to their full potential until I started really doing it professionally. And then it was, you start learning more about the synchronicities of things that happen. And you're like, there's a reason for that. And and so it's kind of funny when things start doing that today. Yeah, today, for example, I had a client who I've read for many times in San Antonio, and she's going through some things, and one of the things that she's going through, there's a date for something legal to be filed, and they moved the date to the 12th of December. And I was like, oh, yeah, it's going to work for you then. And she was like, how do you know? I'm like, it's 12/12. And she was like, oh, what do you mean by 12/12? And I go, well, that's my birthday. And I go, so I know it's going to work. And she goes, oh, my gosh. And then she said to me, you were born on a very special day. And I'm like, yeah, it's 12/12. I know. She goes, no, it's Our Lady of Guadalupe.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay.
That was really special to my mom. Yeah.
So she was like, no, you were born on a really special day. You're really special.
Oh, I love that.
I didn't know that.
And so that was kind of cool because I'd never heard that.
Yeah.
No one has ever told me that. So.
Yeah, because that's another similarity is I was born on 0303. Wow, grammatically that was horrible. My birthday was 0303.
0303.
Yeah. But what about you? When did you know that you were mystic and
mystic?
Well, whatever you identify.
Yeah, mystic. I think my mom definitely was like the opening to that because she had this fascination with the moon.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
I love that.
I did too. And it was really cool. And she wrote songs about it. And
I love she wrote songs
in English and Spanish.
Yeah. Oh, that's
it was pretty sweet. Yeah, it was really cool. So, but yeah, I think she was kind of like the gateway to that, and she had intuitive moments where she would know things, and and just normalized it. It made it seem like it was, of course I have this, and you do too. You know.
So I have a question for you because this morning. It's funny because this morning, for some reason, when I woke up, I got a download about the moon.
Stop.
And it was like how the moon actually, it's not only how it shapes people's moods and emotions and the effect it has on portals and things like that, but also how it has an effect on the tides. So it has an effect on the earth so much on the vibration that you don't even really think about it. But I want to do a podcast on that sometime. Can you bring in some of the music, the lyrics?
I can. Yes,
I think that would be amazing.
I do have that.
I would love that because, like I said, that download of the moon came to me this morning and said, "This." Now that you did it, see, there's a synchronicity that we were talking about. You just don't know what happens.
You really don't.
Perfect alignment.
Yeah, she used to, whenever it was a full moon, we would go out and have, dinner or something somewhere. And it was just like a special time. And so I've carried that now with my daughter, where when it's a full moon, we have our little full moon picnics and, do our cards and stuff. But yeah, I think that was like the entry point. I don't know when I came across astrology, but that was a really big pull for me, where I was like, wait, this feels familiar.
Yeah.
And you did it in past life, probably.
Yeah. I memorized all of them when I was like 12. I wrote them on this little notebook piece of paper.
That's cool. Yeah, that's very cool.
I had a little Pisces patch on my jeans when I was a little girl.
Yes, that's awesome.
I think we all had like a fascination with our zodiac sign.
Totally,
definitely.
I mean, when you were younger, it just was one of those things that you would get things. I can remember I had this. It was like a beer goblet. Okay, so I had it as a child. This will tell you, like
beer goblet.
Yeah, it was a glass. It was like a beer stein kind of goblet thing, and it had. And my sister had been selling some kind of home party glassware, and I got it from that, and so I had that thing forever, and would just put stuff in it and everything, but. I was obsessed with, Sagittarius. I thought it was like the coolest sign because it's half man, half horse. Hello.
Yes.
The coolest sign. But,
fire sign.
Yeah, but you don't notice it. And when you start getting more into astrology is when you really start to find how that sign works and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But, so it's funny because when you start looking back on things, really – your journey started when you were a child, way back, and yours did too, and so did mine. And it's not like other people don't have these journeys. It's just what they're not doing with them or what they are doing with them is what makes it the difference and everything. So it's really...
And that was the top poll answer that we got from episode 1 was I posted 4 questions on there for us, and that was the one is how to expand your spiritual practices.
Right.
And, we've all just said that we've taken classes and things like that. So I highly recommend that. Like, literally pick your favorite metaphysical store. Go to all of them.
Yeah,
find which one really vibrates with you.
There was a guy I met at one of the metaphysical stores, and I'm telling you, he was like, now let me tell you, there's like 10 metaphysical stores in the area, and you can do this class. And he had them all down. He knew the prices of them all.
Dang,
so he would like compare prices, and he would be like, take this one over here, take this one over here. And I was just like, I really don't have that much time. You are way more into this than me. But I just didn't know where I was going to be going with it all. I knew I was jumping into a pool. There was no doubt that whenever there was a nudge and the purple rose came up, like the very next day after asking for it, I knew there was a nudge that I was in a new pool.
They were just waiting for you to say yes.
That's it. I actually had gone to a psychic, and she's like, your guides were like this. And I can remember doing a meditation at home, and literally it felt like I was in a chair in a black room, and they were all lined up around the wall, and they were like going, it's about time. Like, we were about to give up on you. Like, what have you been doing? And I'm like, I didn't know. Like, I didn't know this was what you really wanted me to do. Because we are also wrapped up in our own lives sometimes. We just forget to hear or listen because we're thinking this is... And truly, the timing wouldn't have been right before because I was busy raising my daughter.
Yeah.
And that was my whole focus. And so... when you think about when you start doing stuff is whenever you have some time to do it.
Yeah. I think for me recently within the past 2 years, when I got to unplug from the day-to-day and I wasn't working, a 9-to-5 job and I was just door dashing and listening to podcasts about this stuff. And just like introduced this whole other thought of like what we think is like what we're bringing in. I know you guys are very familiar.
Yep.
But I started to see that so clearly in my life. And then when I was talking to people, like the way that they would talk about things, like certain people are like, why does everything happen to me? And you're like, oh man, like it's not going to get better, man, if you keep doing.
If you keep
if
that
you stay in
attitude,
it,
right.
yeah, don't stay in it.
That's the biggest thing is like you do come across people and they're like, I've been having bad luck for the last 10 years.
Right.
Yeah.
And you're like,
Yep.
has there been anything good that's happened? I mean, you seem to still be here and everything seems to be moving in a forward direction.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of that has to do with like how you look at things.
Yes.
Perspective, programming.
Yeah, and I think people like to get on. I call it a roundabout. It's like they got on a roundabout and they're never knowing where the exit is.
Yep.
And it's like they just stay on that roundabout. And I've met several people like that. And it's just, but if somebody was wanting to like start opening up their gifts and things like that, highly recommend going to metaphysical shops. Looking at astrology, start looking at astrology. Start looking at the moon phases. There's so many things you can get into.
Get a tarot deck, get an oracle deck. If you vibe with that, some people don't like it. They, think it's a devil thing or whatever. Then okay, don't resonate with that. You can. There's so many things you can do.
There's so much you can do. There's runes. There's
crystals.
Pendulums,
there's even
divination
charms throwing. Have you seen anyone do charms throwing? Like that's a whole new thing. There's tea leaf reading. I've done tea leaf reading.
What? Okay, so what is a tea leaf reading? I always picture it a certain way, but I don't know.
So here's what you do.
Okay,
so you buy tea, and it has to be a certain leaf, a certain type of leaf of tea, because what you're going to do is you put it in there and you let it seep for the 3 to 5 minutes, so you have tea, obviously, but you're not draining the tea leaves out. You drink down until there's just enough water to swirl the tea leaves, and then you flip it over on the saucer really quick.
Whoa.
Okay. So what is left of the water, clearly runs out, but then your tea leaves, they form things. And like I read one time, and clearly I could see a phoenix, and I'm like, I see a phoenix. And she was like, I'm going to Egypt next month.
Whoa.
And so I was like, are you going with a friend? Because there's 2 phoenixes. And she said, yes. And so you start reading what you see the leaves doing. I read for myself one time, and I was going to Ireland, and it clearly looked like there was a hand coming down and giving another hand something. So it felt like I was going to be getting gifts while I was in Ireland. I was going to be learning something. I was going to be given something. And so I felt like that was, and so you start reading the leaves and what they mean and how they look, and you'll be surprised. It's intuitive, and it is also channeling, because the messages still come from above.
Right.
That's how all of my messages come in. And so it's almost like you're just connecting with them psychically and channeling that information, and that's what comes in.
And the easiest, quickest way that I teach a lot of students is just go within. If you could take 5 minutes a day, that's all you need. Just go within, connect with yourself, and literally ask spirit guides, whether you know who they are or not, really doesn't matter. It's just the act of doing, and connect and ask a yes or no question. So, I'll take a basic one, like, should I take this new job at ABC company? Okay. Pay attention to your very first immediate answer. If you get a yes and that's your immediate answer, then there's your answer. If you get a no, that's also your answer. But the biggest thing that Dr. Chuck used to say all the time, and I still say it when I teach, is don't filter. Don't filter. Just listen to what you get and write it down. That way you can get out of your ego mind. That's why I usually have pen to paper. It's why I love when you do this.
Yeah, I do pen to paper a lot.
It gets you out of your ego mind and into your receiving that information. And do it with anything. Yeah. Because your body can't lie. Your body is an antenna. It's a partner to you to help you discern the information.
I love that.
Here's one of the interesting things about that. When you were first learning this, and truly I wish I would have known this 40 years ago, but at any rate, that's the way it is.
Never too late.
Yeah, never too late. But when I'm asking a question like that, they answer me before I'm finished with the question. So then my logical mind says, they didn't hear the whole question, so they don't know the answer. Especially if it's one that I didn't want that answer.
Right.
So there you go. That's the reason why you go, no, that's not the right answer. I'll try again. When you start arguing with yourself in complete sentences in your head, that's all
ego.
you. Yeah. But they answer you before you finish the question, and that is the answer. That is them. That's them. And you just have to trust it.
Yeah.
But it's really hard because you're still thinking, I didn't finish the question.
Yeah.
And being a woman, we tend to think they didn't hear us. No, they heard. They know.
Yeah, they know.
But that's how
I feel like that's
think.
how it was with meeting you. Because I don't even know if you know this story.
I may not.
Okay, so it was at the Wellness Expo
Grapevine.
in Grapevine, and me and my friend Kevin were walking around, and we walked by Lezli, and I could feel her looking at me. And I was like, I'm not going to look over there. I can feel this lady looking at me. I'm not doing it.
Because y'all know how I am on expos and things. I look at
she
people
was
and
like,
they just come to me.
She looked so annoyed that I wasn't looking over there. But then, we did. And you were like, this is what I do. I do readings. And we just started talking with her. And then my friend got a reading. And I just felt like I was supposed to get her number. So luckily she had it written on her chalkboard.
See?
And then I texted her later and was like, hey, do you want to hang out or something? And, schedules didn't work out and everything. But then shortly thereafter, I was starting my business and seeing her start to post about her business. And I kept getting my nudge of like, just reach out to Lezli, reach out to her. I'm like, she's going to think I'm so weird. And so I did. I was like, hey, maybe you want to try this for like 30 days. And immediately she said, yes, we should meet. Nothing else.
Nothing else.
Yes, we should meet.
Yeah.
And here we are.
But that's how it was with you too. You reached out to me and was like, but again, it's the synchronicities of what's happening.
Yeah.
And
we
trusting.
need to wrap this one up, but
reach out if you got any questions. We're open books.
Yeah, that's the thing.
We can
is
guide
like,
you.
You can go to southernfriedpsychics.com, Ashwani's website, and she's got classes out there, and she's got information out there. And I have classes. Go to purplerosepsychic.com. I'm doing some channeling classes, and I'm doing some releases and open galleries and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And
your website,
Rising Digital.
Yes.
Media.
Man, that is like, she has been doing some amazing logos and work with people.
She did that one.
She did
Yes,
our logo.
I did. No big deal.
Yes. Listen to her, no big deal. No worries.
risingdigitalstudio.com. So feel free to reach out to me. And I guess that's it for Mystics Spilling the Tea.
Yeah, that's another wrap, and we hope to see y'all soon.
This is Ashwani of Southern Fried Psychics.
Leslie Hall, the Purple Rose Psychic.
And Nickelle, Rising Digital.
Y'all have a great day.